abstract poet was created to empower poem itself. And today I have my special guest. She's the author of the book. Title goes here, and it's all about poetry, no other than Miss Dewey.
Salutations. Good to be back on the air. At least back on after or whatever played before this, but I'm happy to be here.
Welcome to Abstract Poetry, Miss Dewey. Can you please introduce more about yourself before we gonna write all your poetry book?
Sure thing. I do quite a bit of things. I dabble in obviously poetry and writing. I keep a blog. I also have several film projects ongoing. And I'm here to have a good time.
Have a good time indeed. And tell us why the title of the book like this. Title goes here. Should like
Yes.
nowhere?
So the title goes here. The cover is that there is no cover. It is supposed to be a bit of a deconstruction of a book, and that is all about foolishness in one word. And when I was coming up with everything, I wanted to try to turn each piece on its head. So the title goes here, the cover is that there is no cover. And I keep that up through the entire book, from all the way from the copyright page to the very last piece.
Okay, interesting, Miss Dewey. Title goes here. Tell us, what are the things that you did? Something that adventures in foolishness.
Well, it may be easier for me to give you a little bit of a taste of the poetry than to try to explain it. So it may just
Go
be
ahead.
easier.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so this poem, it's called "A Prison Named Paradise." It's a little on the longer side, but I think this gets across the idea of foolishness that I'm trying to get at in the book. Let me know when you're ready.
Go ahead. You do you want a background for you while you're reading?
Oh, I prefer silence if that's okay with you.
Silent. Okay, go ahead. I'm ready to listen to your poem.
Let's go. An outside surrounds society completely and undeniably. It cannot be escaped. It beckons to all, we hear its song and call, but have been taught to ignore. Danger may await, society will state. Just stay in place. All can see society's great show. What lies beyond, no one can know. Those who dare question are fools indeed. The wise concentrate on control, using reason as a blindfold. They enslave humanity to the tangible. But how can you be free, the fool reasons, if you cannot see your chains? What chains, the wise reply? We see nothing. You are confused. Preservation is paramount. Status quo is a must. A fool is a danger to that, earning the wise's distrust. The only unpredictable variable that the wise cannot drown, freedom of thought and mind, lest the wise also be bound. Without this lone protection, the wise face imminent danger. Due to distrust within the ranks, the right must exist on paper. It is better this way, the wise say to guide. Stay in our dominion. It is madness to go outside. The wise contain those who run. A fool might undo what has been done. If they depart, others may follow. Foolishness is contagious, you see, an illness treated for the system to be, the wise dream of eradication. Then no one would need to be free or question the wise walls of reality, content with an overseen existence. Asking for more? Don't be ridiculous. This is the way it's always been. The walls block danger out and keep us safe from harm. To feel otherwise is a sin. Only a fool would entertain that unspeakable thought. The walls are there to keep us in. What is at risk? Society itself, the wise plead. So keep your restraints on. Unsurprisingly, the structure of society cannot be altered according to those at the top. No room to consider an outside, a place where all are equal. Perish the thought. The wise have had their blindfolds off and are part of the machine. All the others with vision are the ones that must be screened. Certainty over exploration, fracturing humanity as a whole. Far better to be a jailer than begin to lose control. Heaven forbid the sight spreads and a critical mass flee. Society needs its labor, and that labor must not see. The fool continues their journey, merely seeking license to leave. But though the application exists, the wise hold the wall's key. Too noticeable to have no option, too risky to formally refuse. An attack on the fool's sanity makes for a good excuse. It is wrong to think of elsewhere, wrong to think to leave. What exactly out there do you think you will perceive? You are not happy here, but here cannot be the problem. It is not fair to the rest. Put your blindfold back on. It is your duty to do what's best. But try as they might, they cannot force the blindfold on, only charge the fool with treason. The fool calls the wise's bluff, forcing the question by applying reason. Why do you need me to be blind? Am I not free in thought and mind? You aren't trying to deny me that. Of course not, the wise say sheepishly. We're simply concerned for your well-being. Then I'm allowed to think beyond the wall, the fool concludes. Through debate, the wise will never concede, but the boundaries created are very real indeed. No longer concerned with bringing the fool back into the fold, the wise's focus quickly pivots to that of damage control. The fool will not bow and cannot be persuaded. The necessary oversight of all outweighs concerns of a single dissuaded. The fool is mad, the wise shout from the rooftops, lest people hear otherwise. If the blindfold won't be put back, perhaps a muzzle of discredit can be devised. Discredit becomes a spotlight. The fool makes too much sense. All know of the fool now, and of what is their offense. The fool has no blindfold on. Others are removing theirs too. The wise are getting nervous. They cannot ignore the fool. If only compliance could be forced, the wise wistfully wishes. Alas, consent must be obtained if no one is to get suspicious. Instead, the wise offer a different kind of temptation. Join us and ascend. No, the fool insists. They do not wish to exchange one prisoner's uniform for another. Refusal is met with offense. It is a privilege to rule, to become part of the machine instead of its mere fuel. As if they would ever trust a fool, they will install a ceiling of glass. This is the path of membership to the wise's lowest class. Fine, the wise declare. Leave, never return. Society is better off without fools. Some will believe the wise when they claim with gall, giving the fool their freedom is victory for the wise and their wall. Others will see the fool leave and be reminded of the truth. There is something outside. The wise themselves provided proof. The outside's call has never stopped. The inside will always be cruel. Do you dare answer that siren song and also become a fool?
Wow. Interesting message indeed. You deserve like an applause, Miss Dewey. So what's the
So do
title
you,
of
my
that
good
poem?
friend. Here's some applause for you for listening. Thank you.
So what's the title of that poem that you just read?
That is one of the first poems in the book. It is called A Prison Named Paradise.
Prison Name Paradise. So can you read one more, please?
Absolutely. I have quite a few more, and so I have a question for you.
Yes, go ahead.
Would you like a poem about war? Would you like a poem about a haunted mansion? Or would you like a poem that helps with the fear of the future?
I like the Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion it is. Let me just grab that one for you really quickly. And this one is called The Haunted Mansion or for those who don't believe in ghosts. Actually, before I start, tell me, do you believe in ghosts?
Yes, it is.
Oh, you do? Okay, good.
Yes.
Good. Well, this is definitely for those who don't believe that the ghosts of the past still haunt us. But
Yes. Simon says, I see dead people.
spoilers for a very old movie, but yes.
What? Well, still alive, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, you ready?
Yes. Go ahead.
Let's do it. Um, Step right up. Come and see. Over here, love, mind the tree. This lovely dwelling by the sea, an aged and faded catastrophe. With a balcony where a dame once fanned, the manor of the estate is still so grand. But make no mistake, this place is damned. A curse runs through this wretched land. A hybrid farm, at the time quite new, this family proud of what they do, upstanding citizens through and through, growing a crop for thens, me's, and you's. Wildly successful with a future bright. How did they do it all? That's the blight. The support team all lived here on site, the location of which is only part of that blight. Parlor at the ready to receive almost all, side door for those that the proper appall. The dining room holds a table giant and tall, but room at the table was truly quite small. The master bedroom is right up the stairs. Just further, the beds of the few other heirs, all with lush wardrobes of minimal tear and fine lavish cloth still on its first wear. The study is where they forged their books. Not enough were the many souls they took. Don't mind the hovel of the legitimate cook. This is where the family did not want you to look. It seems we've reached the final stop. Flimsy quarters for those not on the top. This is where they held their lesser stock. Quite nothing compared to up the block. But before I bid you back to your glee, a fact to end my time with thee. It was modern at the time, you see, just like now, with you and me.
Sounds interesting. Miss Dewey. Amazing. Amazing indeed. Title goes here. What are your struggles in writing with?
Struggles in writing?
Yes.
Um, there's a lot of different flavors that happen at different points, which is probably the most broad answer I could possibly give to that. But I'd say the one that continues to come up is the kind of the blank page syndrome, where you're not sure that you quite have something, you're not sure what you're going to put down, and where you're like for when I'm writing my blog, yeah, I have the blog staring at me with the empty text. It's like, okay, put a really great blog post right here. And the way that I try to get over that is just forcing myself to put something down and making leaving tweaking and all of that other stuff for later, and just forcing myself to get something down. And as long as you keep forcing yourself to write something, you'll always have something to edit, and so that helps things all the way up through the pipeline.
Well, is there a follow up for this book, Miss Dewey?
I do plan to be doing another book of poetry at some point. But my next literary project is actually, you can even scroll down on the website a bit more. My next project is actually a retelling of the Book of Psalms in a way that is a bit more accessible to anyone who finds themselves outside of an Abrahamic religion, and attempting to broaden each psalm to be used in more general contexts and make the book feel more at home if that may not be where your primary spiritual residence is. And it has been a very interesting project because I'm not starting with a blank page for this. I'm starting with multiple translations that I'm working with to try to find something, and then adding obviously my own changes to things and making things broader like I talked about. And it's been a very interesting project. So that's the next book on the horizon. Although after that I definitely plan on releasing more poetry.
Okay, so why the Book of Psalms?
It Psalms is an incredibly comprehensive book. There is something for just about any situation you can find yourself in. And I mean, Psalms is, put mildly, right? It is a prayer and song book. And it's something that's given me a bit of solace in my own practice. And I wanted to try to bring that not just in the practices where it's already established to practices where coming from this book might actually feel a bit more distant or even hurtful. Um, so that's why I chose that book.
Psalms.
Yes.
Okay, looking forward for that, Miss Dewey. And to sum up our discussion for today, can you please invite our listeners to support your book itself?
Well, thank you. So the best place for just anything that I do is my website, which is dewey.nyc. That's DEWY.NYC. I keep a weekly blog there, but if you go to the projects page, you can see the current book. You can see the books. You can find a link to get Title Goes Here. You can also go to your local bookstore and ask for it, which is great because we should support our local bookstores. But on the website, you can also see the film stuff that I'm in, which is a whole other part of my projects, and it's a lot of fun.
Yes, indeed. Yes, people support Miss Dewey. Because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering poetry to come, more and more empowering books to come. So, Miss Dewey, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
More to come, people. See you soon.